And we are live. It's working. Oh
Are you
my
sure we're
God.
not memorized?
Yes, we are live
might be
because I just got
memorized.
a notification. Oh wait.
Yay! Technology sucks. I mean, it's good. Uh,
Oh, it
after
actually sucks.
trials and tribulations, we actually got this to work again.
Yes.
You
God have
lucky.
mercy on our soul. Oh, but anyway, hey, welcome TFYLP episode 211. Tonight we're going to talk about some of the reveals of the movie. I'm going to get myself and Don are going to get our first look at the Combiner Wars, and we're going to do that live. We're actually going to watch it, and you're going to get to see what we think, if we like it, if we don't like it. Yeah, so we're going to give our 2 cents for whatever it's worth, hopefully more than 2 cents, and we'll see how that goes. Then after that, we're gonna segue into a little part of what do you do when your toy you buy a certain character and then a newer one, the newer better model comes out. Do you trade up? Are you just leasing? Is this like a lease with an option to buy type thing? And that's how we're going to wrap it up tonight. Tonight I am joined with Headmaster Don,
Hey, buddy.
Sergio Garcia,
Good evening.
which is my first time, the privilege of working with you tonight. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
And Plasticon.
Yeah, of course, because G2 never dies.
You know, you keep saying that, but you know what? From day one, I swear to God, it says I love Georgia. And I'm just going to leave it at that. All right? But
I'm gonna get that fixed.
And that joke will
saying
never die.
It's not literally. I was like, Georgia. Anyway,
The joke will never die.
I am your host, Megamus. Thank you very much. So let's get on to. We got some clips, and the funny part is there's one really neat picture that we're going to show of what we learned about the new Transformer movie, and Don hasn't seen it, and I would love to start off with that, and that's going to be the wonderful Bay rendition of Hot Rod. Sergio, could you show that?
Can you reveal this glorious thing?
Let me screen share. And, okay, let me move it before.
Don, keep your applause to a minimum.
Can you see it?
I just see Brett's unhandsome mug. I do not see anything yet. There we go.
Oh.
Present to everyone. There we go.
The hell?
For the audio listeners, you're kind of screwed. But
just think of something really, really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Hey, do you have a picture of his alt mode?
they haven't officially revealed it, but they have a good idea.
I thought
We have
there
a
was
good
leaked
idea.
footage that kind of showed the side of it.
Okay, all right. Okay, this is just initial impressions off the top of my head. One, he's too dark. He's not colorful enough to be Hot Rod. The red is right. It's just, or close to being right. There's just not enough of it. The
And this
face. He's wearing a gas mask.
It looks like Bumblebee.
Yeah. The face really does. It kind of does. But I'll be honest with you. I'll just go right out and say it. I think it looks horrible.
Yeah.
I think it looks absolutely horrible.
He
he looks more like a Decepticon than he does an Autobot.
Yeah. Well, now I'll admit in the past, and I've got on my soapbox about this, making judgment calls about stuff when all we've seen is a render or an image. I've gone on record here at NRFC about how we need to keep an open mind, and I am going to keep an open mind. I'm hoping the toy is a little more colorful. I'm hoping the final. I'm hoping the final design is a little more colorful. It's just based on what I'm seeing here, it's a little too dark for Hot Rod, and the face.
It's not Hot Rod.
The face does not invoke the character. I have nothing wrong with the robot design. I have nothing wrong with. I like the robot design because it's very sleek.
You're more of you're a fan of the more organic looking, sleek.
See,
well, Andrew Wildman is my favorite Transformer artist, so there's your answer right there. But I like the fact he's compact. He's there's not a lot of kibble other than the doors on the back. You see where the tires are going. I have noticed
because you don't know where that's going to go when they actually make the figure. Then Lord knows what they're going to do.
Right, but I'm just saying, visually, if you showed me this without a nameplate, I would think a dozen other people, a dozen other robots.
And I'm betting you would probably think more Decepticon than you would.
I'm thinking Wild Rider, more or less, is what
that's
I'm
exactly
saying
That's exactly who I thought it was. I really did. I was like, oh, they're going to do the Decepticons. All right. No.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, the car mode, that alt mode, that Lamborghini actually would work for a modern hot rod. That actually would work.
It would if they change the colors.
Is there a reason that Lamborghini is reminding me of Lockdown for some reason, or am I getting my cars mixed up?
Lockdown was
pretty close to
Lamborghini, wasn't it?
Lockdown was Lamborghini Aventador.
It was the Aventador. Okay. This is the new one. This is the one right after the Aventador.
Hot Rod is a Lamborghini Centauro.
Yeah, this is the new Lambo.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a little shock. I don't know my cars. I've never known my cars.
They're different.
So they're different. Don, but I'm just saying.
Don, this is not a Ford Festiva.
hey, my first new car. Now, my first car was a '77 Celica.
I'm waiting for you to say you had a Festiva, and then I'll be like, yes, win.
No, my second car was a Fairmont station wagon. My first new car that I bought with my own money was a Dodge Neon.
Oh God. Ugh.
I got over 105,000 miles on that sucker before I traded it in.
We're not going to get cars.
Okay. Since we're on like cars for a second here, what's everybody? Well, since we already know what Don's first car was, what was everybody else's?
My first car was a Datsun 200 SX.
Nice.
Datsun would be Nissan now, but it was called Datsun back then. Showing my age.
What was yours?
I use my mom's car. I don't have my own yet.
What is it?
A Mazda Millennia.
Okay. Mine was a 78.
It's as old as me. So.
Yeah. Mine was a 78 Toyota Corolla.
I had the
That's
Celica.
actually a classic now.
It is. The one that I actually had was more of the rare type with the round headlights.
But get this, on my 77 Celica, the starter would keep kicking back in after the car was started. So my dad went in and wired a manual toggle switch to the starter that I would have to flip on, start the car, then flip it off on a toggle switch that would adhesive to my dashboard.
You know what that is, don't you? You remember in Back to the Future when Biff Tannen says, "No one knows how to start this car but me." That's you.
Please, you. No, I don't want to be Biff Tannen.
Yes, you're Biff Tannen.
I don't want. I hate manure.
Don't go so bad, because when I got my Corolla, I had to do a lot of work to it. First off, the clutch leaked. So when I bought this car, I had one that was a 1980 Corolla thrown in with it. So I yanked parts off the 80 Corolla to fix the 78. And I had to turn back around and pull the shocks off the old one to put on the one that I can actually drive, because it had 2x4s holding it up, shoved through the springs, that way it wouldn't bottom out.
Okay, one last thing, and we'll get off this topic. My 81 Fairmont wagon that I used in college, someone had rigged the radio to the headlights, so when you turn the headlights on, the radio died.
Nice.
So there's that.
Okay, one other thing, though, I want to say to all the viewers. The link to that Combiner Wars thing that we're going to be watching soon is in Facebook, as well as we want to know what everybody else's first car was, so have at it and put it in there.
Yeah. But I will...
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just going to say, as far as getting back to Hot Rod, I like the design. I can't wait to see the toy. I do hope they add some more color, especially through the chest and the midriff section, because this basically reminds me of Generations Metroplex. You had all that swath of white with no breakup from chest to kneecap. And that's why I got Utopia over Metroplex, was because of he looked like a polar bear in a snowstorm. Metroplex, not Utopia. This looks like someone's trying to go for a stealth camo mode, and that's Hot Rod is anything but stealth. But again, I'll wait and see.
For me, it's not even so much the colors; it's just the head.
Well,
The
let me
head
ask you,
both
Sergio.
Decepticon.
The little pictures over on the, I guess it would be, I'm trying to flip, it would be on your left.
Yes.
The car that's underneath what looks like barricade. Is that him?
That's Drift. For some reason, Drift has a new
Okay.
vehicle.
Well, that isn't
But
going to
that
be
has the
confusing or
same
anything.
color scheme as what we just saw.
It is. It is the same color scheme.
Yeah, but if you look at the chest, it's a Lamborghini chest.
Well,
But
I'm
now-
just saying. Well, I don't understand why they're just reusing the same design. These characters are, and you guys will agree with me. They're not only are they iconic, but they're iconic because of certain things. You know, Hot Rod, he's got to have flames. He's got to be bright colors. All right.
Well,
This
they
is not
may
it.
they may not have the flames because Optimus has the flames, so they're trying to avoid character
Well, see,
blending.
I think that'd be perfect because even in the comics, and as you know, Hot Rod steps up. Well, there you go. You've got Prime. And you got little mini
Spoilers!
Prime.
Spoilers for a 30-year-old movie.
I know,
Oh my God!
right?
Give me a break.
Well, this is my beef on this whole thing. Why the hell did they change Drift's colors to black and red? Why the hell didn't they just leave it
Why,
blue?
why the hell
What
does
was
this
wrong
movie
with that?
exist? That's my question.
Well, yeah, it's.
Dude,
I mean, if
because
he was
Hasbro needs more money, so
Well,
that way
if-
we can make more toys.
if
So
Drift
this is
if Drift was a ninja versus the samurai, you could always with the whole covert action
stealth
thing.
type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but with Drift being trying to embody the spirit of the samurai, I don't know. Again, wait and see. Judge it when toys get in your hands.
But by the way, just
And
letting you know that we just got a message from Edward Hunt, one of our listeners, who wanted to also, spoiler alert, he also killed he said Rengimus, but he killed Prime. So, but for those that haven't seen the 30-year-old movie, he kills
Yeah.
Prime too. So I mean, he's got that.
That's
going on his
okay.
shoulder.
It'll be released here on Blu-ray soon, so everybody can watch it.
And
Glorious
I don't-
reproduction.
And I don't think it's a spoiler. Optimus comes back. He.
Wait a minute. Hold
Yeah,
your
yeah.
Oh my
horses.
God.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah. He.
Boom.
Yes, I mean he has a tendency to do that, kind of like a boomerang.
I think he came back a couple
And just
times,
about as
actually.
often. And just about as often.
Dude, all
Okay,
they did was
so-
just unplug him and plug him back in and hit the power button again. He just
Nah,
came
the
back
best
on.
was in the comics when they rebooted him, put him on a little floppy disk. That was awesome. Who remembers that? The Optimus Prime floppy disk. Yes,
Yes.
for the win. But anyway,
Yeah,
get
his
back to
entire
this. For our audio listeners. Okay, it's a Mercedes Benz. Do we know what type it is?
expensive.
It's a Mercedes AMG GTR.
Okay, and this is all black, and it has like two red pinstripes. It's got a red pinstripe and a big thick red down by the bottom. And
it has
No
red
spoiler.
on the wheels.
it has red on the wheels, and it's got red trim down.
just imagine.
Red on the wheels.
Just imagine white walls but red.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
got the red walls and a little bit of red on the mirrors and a little bit of red on the
Oh my
spoiler.
god! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's the world's biggest wheel because it's a red line.
It's a red
It's a
liner.
hot-
It's a hot wheel. It is
Yes.
for the win. Now I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Now this should actually have, like, when they do the whole thing, this is like our crossover between Hasbro and Mattel, and they need to make this thing like a Hot Wheels card back.
Well,
I would kill to see that. That would be
Well, you
funny.
know, I've
and
got
I
a
would actually
feeling-
buy that.
I got a feeling we will see a Hot Wheels similar to this probably about the time the movie comes out.
Probably. But anyway,
I'd love the toy for this.
Anyway.
Toy for this.
well, I got it. Just a little thought. What if they were doing color scheme wise? Follow me on this. Own little squadron, and maybe led by Hot Rod, and they're all black and red.
It could
Have a
work.
little squadron like that.
Yeah.
And then they all combine
Sort of like
together.
an sort of like an Autobot version of the Seekers, kind of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
They're
the
all-
movie-
all
movie-
these are
or-
similar in color.
Okay, here's something. Maybe these are again. This is me just thinking out of the box. Maybe this is a new team of wreckers.
Maybe. Could be.
Maybe that's the color scheme they're using for that, and then they all combine
Well,
them
I mean,
together to some
we're
big
throwing
super
out a lot of
wrecker.
possibilities. It's just one thing I noticed that you already got two that show the same color scheme, and I was thinking
Yeah.
maybe it'd be a neat idea.
Yeah, because Optimus is a knight, so these could be kind of like his what are they?
His nighty
The
nights.
squires.
Yeah,
Right?
the squires.
His nighty nights.
His 99.
And I think I
Yes.
heard that the Dinobots will be back, so that too.
Hopefully, with more screen time, that would be nice.
Okay.
Yeah, not anymore of this 15-minute whatever it is at the very end, and has no characterization hardly at all.
Yeah, so.
Really.
Character. It was. I'm not even going to. All right,
Moving on.
Sergio. What else you got, Sergio? What you got?
Moving on, we got my favorite one, which is Barricade, which he's back.
Nice.
How is he back? This is the question everybody has.
They will figure something out.
Well,
Yeah, or they won't
Barricade-
explain it.
Well,
They just won't explain it.
Barricade didn't die, right? He just sort of vanished.
He vanished, and then showed back up in Dark of the Moon. In Dark Moon, he got shot in the eye, and then I think they took him down.
Okay.
But
Oh, that's right. Okay.
for all
that's
we
right.
know, he could have just been gravely injured, and then he just managed to escape.
But he's still sticking with the whole Mustang look, but it's the
Okay.
modern Mustang.
But then he comes back with all sorts of sexiness.
Yeah,
Sexy body.
He's got the super patrol car going.
and a
here.
spoiler.
Yeah. Well.
Oh my
for
God.
Those, our audio listeners, you're looking at the new Mustang with a nice little push bumper, nice little light bar, and a big old whale tail on the back. Gotta love that.
Oh my God.
Nice.
This is for all you '80s fans who will get this reference. Barricades in Super Pursuit mode.
Yes.
Yeah. If they just had the little red thing go all the way across the front.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
There you go.
Barricade is in Super Pursuit mode for you Knight Rider fans. I'm hoping it looks like
Knight Rider.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
But it looks like they kept the two punishing enslaved, so that makes me happy.
Is that what it says?
That
It's, you can kind of see it on the
I
side.
can't
It does.
imagine. Yeah,
I've seen
I
other
can't-
shots of this car from different angles because they have several photos they've spilt. I've seen a different one where it actually does say that it still has a lot of that same decal.
And now I'm imagining Frenzy with an '80s fro like David Hasselhoff used to wear. Never mind.
Only if he's got the leather jacket. I'm sorry, the pleather jacket.
Frenzy needs to jump out and hold up a boombox. That would end the whole thing right there. That should be like the ending
Yes.
scene, Bay.
Get
on that.
We're done. All right.
He has a bunch
Okay.
of. Yeah,
Let's
he
see
has
the next one.
A67 was in the original model, and he also has 14 on the spoiler. So
Yeah, 867 wasn't. 14 wasn't.
14 is the number of steps he does to transform.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hope so. Let's hope it's not no one-step changer.
Okay, so the next one, this is the one that we've seen pictures of,
Yes.
but they just this week announced who it is, and it is Onslaught, who is the Western Star tow truck. So the big tow
Right.
truck.
Well, let me ask you this. When this first came out, I remember everyone going, with their little, what they thought, and a lot of people thought it was hoist. Well, the first thing I did was I blew up that front where it says, never back down. Now, while that may not be as evil as some of the things that Decepticons do and say and everything, to me, never back down, it just didn't seem like hoist. So I did, off the bat didn't think it was going to be hoist.
Yeah. Well, he also has a
Yeah.
Decepticon logo on the door. So
I was thinking RID was about to get some love here. That's what I was thinking.
Well, it's
Oh,
because with that size of a truck and him being made to haul trucks like Prime around, I would have bet Motormaster.
Yeah, but I was thinking Towline, because think about it, Towline even hauled off Optimus one time, didn't he, in RID? Because he is a semi that's similar this size.
I don't remember that. But
I know he was hauling a lot of people off, so I mean.
Yeah, well, Sideburn especially.
I'm excited. I'm
Yeah, I know,
excited
right?
for.
Pick another
I'm just
guy.
excited for the toy. I hope they make
Yeah,
a leader class.
Well, see, if you look at the grill, the grill is Onslaught because you can fold down the grill, you've got the radiator behind it, and there's your hands, or part of the arm, or however they design it. So that whole front half really looked like what Onslaught would have had in Generation 1
Well,
with the whole,
Or they could do something.
You're trying to modify this to Generation 1. Well, he also had multiple wheels in the back. This one does. He's got the greenish tinge, even though it's not an olive green. It's more of a, I could say like a mint green. But it fits.
And the twin smokes.
Go ahead.
No, the twin smokestacks could be his twin cannons, a la Rhino.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
but you know it's going to transform. I mean, this thing's a Western star as well, just like the old, like Optimus from the previous movie, and everybody remembers how that thing transformed, where it pretty much was just a shell.
Right. So you really
look at the same thing almost.
Right, and even Edward Hunt said the same thing that I'm thinking. Okay, so we got Onslaught, we need the others, and if they get the others, will they combine? That's the ticket.
That would be interesting to see.
I would love to see a Bruticus.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Bruticus, but I doubt it because I remember them saying Devastator was really hard to animate.
But that was that was now what will be 3 movies ago in about 6 or 7 years.
That is true.
So plus with them coming off Combiner Wars and Combiner Wars being as popular, I can't imagine them not having a combiner in this if it's feasible within budget concerns.
Okay, the last movie, combiners, no combiners. Yes or no?
The last movie?
There was no combiners in the last movie.
But we had what?
Dinos.
Dinobots.
So they're always looking for something. You had Devastator, you got Dinobots. In my opinion, I think what we're ready for is 2 combiners to have, guess what? Combiner Wars. There you go. That's what I want to see. I want to see two of the Gestalts going at it.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully Bruticus doesn't have balls.
Although,
here's the thing.
Back there on the little thing, see, you can have the little things in the back. See, I mean, they could do it.
This could go even worse because he does have the whole thing that sticks out, the haul off stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I think as we see more vehicles and more pictures, I think Brett's theory for combiners could be given a lot more weight if we see, say, a big jet for Silverbolt, or if you want to make it two opposing forces, we see a fire truck or something else that could serve as hotspot.
Right.
As far again going with the Bruticus versus Defensor.
Right.
But we'll have to see where the reveals take us.
I got a question.
I think logically, I think it's the next step. Not to mention, Hasbro's pushing at the movie to kind of help them with their sales and what's hot right now. What are they doing? Combiners. I think it only makes sense.
Well, combiners and headmasters now, so.
Well, and I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see something like that. Although I think that's putting a lot into one movie.
Well, going in the movie, what license plate is that on the front? Can you guys tell what location that is? I mean, the location itself to me looks like Arizona.
I see OR, maybe Oregon. Could be wrong.
Well, that looks like an apportion plate. Portion for semis and stuff over so many pounds. The thing at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably not a state.
We'll find out sooner or later and if nothing else, we'll go to the movie and see what happens.
True.
Without hopefully the fandom making, and again, I talked about this. Let's not judge the entire movie based on what we're seeing here this far out, because if you're successfully judging a movie based on a couple of steals, why isn't your butt in Vegas at the crap tables? If you can predict that well.
Oh no! Why is everyone going by one website's critique of a certain movie when they haven't seen it either? But people do it.
Yeah.
It's very true. Until we actually see a trailer for this thing.
Well, even so, you don't know. You got 99% of the time. 99% of the time, the trailer contains the best scenes. But just because I think it's a great scene doesn't mean you won't, and doesn't mean that something else in the movie you don't think is great and I don't. So yes, I'm the guy that says you don't. You look at the trailer for the content, not so much as that's the best you're going to see, because you may not.
Right. And I'm going to bring this up. I have seen the new Ghostbusters. I have seen it.
Uh-oh.
The trailer. No, I'm just mentioning this as a parallel.
Mm-hmm.
The new Ghostbusters is good. It's not great. It's not bad. It's good. But the marketing and the trailer kind
Didn't
of
do
dropped the
justice.
ball. So yeah, so I'm saying people were judging the movie based on the trailer in its entirety, and we've seen how wrong that can be based on the overall reviews from critics and things like that. There's still, and I'm not trying to open up that floodgate. I'm just drawing a parallel that
Right.
even when we see a trailer, it may be a bad trailer.
Right.
So,
well, everyone here knows what I was referring to.
Oh yeah, I know.
And I don't understand why everyone's jumping on the hate wagon when you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
You're going on one,
so I'm
one
saying,
website's opinion.
Yeah. So even when we have a trailer, take the trailer with a grain of salt and wait till the movie comes out and then go see the movie.
That's very true.
Just to be fair to everything involved.
I mean, I hate to say this. A lot of people right now that hated even the last Transformers movie. I guarantee you most of those guys raised their hand and said, hey, I bought this or I bought that from it. You bought something from it, that's all they were trying to get.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't buy anything from it, and I didn't care for the movie. But
the only thing
that doesn't mean I'm not going to watch this one.
Right,
Yeah.
but the only thing I bought was that Bumblebee that turned into the awesome old school Camaro because it was cool. How often do we get anything that's a large throwback that that far back? We don't really get Transformers that often, so that was a good idea.
It looks like Eric says that he thinks it's a DOT ARR 343 apportion. So yeah, it's an apportion plate. That's what I thought it was, and that only goes to the size. That has nothing to do with the state.
Yeah.
So that's not going to help.
The only thing I want to say before we move on this topic is I hope Movie 5's toy line is a little more streamlined. That we don't have having a common trade theme, a trade dress is good, but not identical to the point where you can't tell your power action battlers from your deluxes without just stopping and saying, okay, I've got to look at the figures versus using the trade dress trying to find which section is which. And I also hope, I know they're going to have a lot of stuff for the younger kids, which is fine. I don't mind that. But all the peripheral stuff, like the little plug-in light-up things and the sparking Dinobots that didn't really spark. I'm hoping there's a lot less of that crap this time.
Right.
And we just focus on the younger kids stuff. The power. We've seen some good power. The last set of power battlers from the last movie that wound up showing up at Ross and Marshalls, some of them are actually pretty good toys. So I wouldn't mind seeing some of that mid-level there for the younger kids, and then of course we're getting the deluxes and stuff like that for the more advanced collectors. So that's all I'm going to say is I'm hoping for a little bit more of a streamlined thing, so the stuff isn't clogging the shelves, so we get a good rotation of product.
Well, that's always a problem. But yeah.
Yes.
Not to beat a dead horse, but on this license plate, he also put, and I can see it now, he says he thinks over in the above the Y that it's OR, but it could actually be OK. So you're looking at Oregon or Oklahoma. What's that backdrop?
I'm sorry.
Like?
That
Oregon.
backdrop almost, honestly, that could probably pass off as Oklahoma because I don't think Oregon has mountains like that because this looks more of a deserty kind of area.
Okay.
Oregon and I think Oklahoma has some areas that are a little more sparse like this, probably closer to Texas.
Yeah. And Brett, Oregon? It's Oregon. It's a short O, not a long O.
Oregon. Origami.
It's that state that's up there that not many people know much about.
I'm sorry. Do I need to talk more Southern for you?
No, I'm just saying.
This here semi-truck thingy got this plate on it that says apportioned.
Never mind. Don't. Moving on.
Thank you. Next.
Next.
Sergio, give us
Bumblebee.
something awesome.
You know, I'm the
Give
only
us
person
something
probably
awesome.
here that is just so sick of Bumblebee. I am. I'm sick of it.
No, I believe there's.
But go ahead.
Oh, it's pretty. It's a Camaro. It's yellow,
Yeah, it is.
similar to what we've got before.
This
So what
one
you
looks
do,
more.
You slap a new badge on it. You slap a little spoiler on the back, and hey, here we go.
I mean, this looks more like a modified version of the newer Camaro, honestly. It just looks like it has like extra ground effects, more of a vented hood, and a split wing versus a solid wing. For our audio listeners, I mean, honestly, there's not a large change here for Bumblebee,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Now, in my opinion, they could have used the Murder Fire Bumblebee. That would have been perfect. Just, you know,
I really wish they would just, flip-flop the freaking colors, make him black with like a little bit of yellow here and there, and that would actually look pretty neat. They should change that.
Yeah.
It would add some variety to
I mean,
what he does.
They should
You know-
just kill him in the movie. Be done with it. Kill him.
Yeah. But I will say,
Fix his
you know,
damn voice box, one of the two.
yeah, and one thing I was thinking about this the other day, and it occurred to me. Look at Optimus and look at Bumblebee, the two constants in all the movies. Look at how many ways they've gotten the same basic car and the same basic truck to transform in so many different ways, but still wind up with similar robot modes across the movies and similar for Bumblebee and Optimus. It's amazing how many different transformations you can. Look at Optimus. I mean, he's had all these different, especially the Revenge of the Fallen design. When we got, the long nose and the flames and everything like that. I'm hoping for a really unique. If they give me a unique transformation, something we haven't seen before, on Bumblebee, I'll probably pick it up, even though it's Bumblebee. But I want something that'll really. I want Hot Rod on Quintessa, shoulder shuffling Bumblebee. I want something with that kind of just awesomeness.
And I want a dead Bumblebee.
Actually, what I would like to see is instead of the hood in the front of the car be on his chest, how about the trunk for once? Switch it around the other direction. That'd be kind of interesting seeing that. And maybe
Until
put suicide
he has
doors
a
on it.
Volkswagen Bug, I don't care.
I don't, honestly, why the heck they haven't tried throwing in the Volkswagen Bug, I have no idea, especially considering VW
Because
just released
Bumblebee's
that
hot,
big...
he's new, he's the big badass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but you got that freaking badass brand new Volkswagen Bug they got out now. That's big and stocky and beefy. Why can't you put like some crazy ground effects on that and make that Bumblebee for once?
Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you.
And also, Hasbro, if you would please, let's not put 4 Bumblebees in a case. Because
There's
I really don't.
out there. Spread the love.
Short pack Bumblebee. Seriously, short pack him, and he'll be more valuable.
Well, no,
I would love to have a Bumblebee that's worth a crap. Trust me.
Yeah, but see, I don't. But see, I'm afraid what we're going to wind up is like what happened with Mattel with the 2000X He-Man line. I literally found a case that was shipped at Kmart. I opened the case. I asked permission. It was sitting on the float. I opened it.
You rebel, you.
It
Yes. was literally 6 He-Mans and Skeletors, 1 Man-at-Arms, and 1 Orko. That was the entire case from it. Was 3 Skeletors, 3 He-Mans, and 1 each of the other characters. I don't want 4 and 6 Bumblebees per case. I know he's the kid, audience identification character. I understand that, but I'm hoping again for sell-through, because I mentioned this earlier in the week. I would rather pay the deluxe price at your Walmart, your Target, whatever the case may be, for the characters as they come out, with the stuff being able to get on the shelf and rotated, than save $5 or $7 and have to wait for Ross or Marshalls or whatever your discount store chain is to get these figures. Because I don't want the stuff sitting on the shelf for so long, because there's so many of the same character that you see the dust piling up on top and they can't put anything out because the stuff's not moving. So that's what I'm looking at, is a better rotation so we get all the characters as they come out, distribution issues aside, and we're not having to pray, oh, let's hope Skylinks hits Ross because we can't find him anywhere else.
Well, this is my thing. Does anybody know how the new Combiner Wars was actually packed? Does anybody know how many per case? Like, I mean,
Well,
I don't know if anybody.
Once you got past the initial wave, 2 waves, because you had drag strip in the first wave, then you had the other aerial bot. Once you got that sorted out, Defensor, well, the Protector bots and the Combaticons was, I think it was 4 and 4 in most cases because it was pack 8.
Okay.
So I think Hasbro said at BotCon 2 years ago when Combiner Wars was last year, or I believe it was last year in 2015. They said the case assortments would be a little more standardized. It's just some figures in those first 2 waves weren't ready. That's why we got drag strip in the aerial bot wave, and then vice versa in the Sunicon wave. So it was mostly, again, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was mostly, unless you had a remix and a revision wave, it's like, because we just got the revision wave not long ago, that was some Combaticons and some Trailbreakers, smoke screens from that wave. But that was a revision wave.
Well, my question here is, Sergio, since you are the youngest in the cast, what are your thoughts on all these newer designs? Do you think they're kind of just rummaging and rehashing, or what? Is he even there?
Sergio,
you and your muted mic.
Yeah, I think he's muted or something.
Oh, he's taking himself off.
There we go.
There we go.
there we are. Whoa.
We want to hear his opinion on this because a lot of people around his age are the ones that are actually.
Sorry, it muted me. I don't know. Google was acting weird.
Gotta love Google.
It does that sometimes.
Now, are you asking if I like the movie designs or the...
What's your opinion on a lot of this newer stuff, and like how you want to see this stuff come out as well, like on the pegs and the toys and all that?
You're a kid. Is this stuff cool?
Do you dig it?
How do I stop?
You got it. You're done.
Yeah,
You're done. I see your Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay, good. Something. I hate Google. Okay, there we go. I got it fixed. Trying to formulate a good opinion. I don't know, cause I didn't grow up with G1, so like all these classics figures, I really have no attachment to them. You know, like at first I was gonna skip Computron just because it's like I have zero attachment to the character.
Right.
But then I started thinking to myself, well, I might as well complete my G1 chugs. Now that I've come this far.
But with the movie line, how did you?
CH, right? Chugs with the CH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did the movie line affect a lot of stuff? Because I mean, I know this isn't like when it first hit. Like, what did it do for you? And then how, like, with all this newer stuff that's coming out?
I think the new stuff is a lot better. The new stuff is really good. I'm really enjoying the Titan Returns line. I think the Titans is one of the better line. It's a lot better than Combiner Wars. I'll give them that.
But with the last movie line, how did that go for you?
The last movie line, I bought a lot of them, but like halfway through, I just started realizing that most of them were really crap. They were lazy. I understand why they simplified them, because they really wanted to they really pushed for the last movie towards children. The last one, it was really pushed towards children, especially on the box. They even boasted like multiple times about how many steps you can transform it in. And I understand, you know, this movie, it's $1 billion movie. The majority of the people that are going to buy these are kids. So I completely understand why they're simplified. It's just going from Revenge of the Fallen Prime to Age of Extinction Prime, it's such a huge letdown. Because Revenge of the Fallen Prime, in my opinion, is the best Hasbro engineering to date. Not including Masterpiece.
I have to agree with you on that. As far as the movie toys go, some of the better figures came out of that line. I agree with you. So and I'm sorry, but I didn't like, and I was really, really excited to see the Dinobots, and they're crap. There's not one good one in my opinion. I think
the deluxe Dinobots were pretty good. I thought they were pretty fun. Scorn was a lot of fun. Was it Slug? The Triceratops? I thought he was fun.
Yeah.
I understand, like with some of them they released like in different colors to try to do a G2 vibe, which really didn't work that well.
They wanted.
I see what they were trying for, but they failed. I'm sorry, they just completely failed. It fell on its face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they wanted to make them pop, and that's why they went with those weird colors for the Dinobots.
Well, the thing is, if they would have done what what they should have done was like release them on retail, not in these crazy colors, but release them like they look like as G1, and then turn it back around and maybe did a G2 color variant. They would have probably. Do you honestly think they would have sold better? Because they had that exclusive thing, and what was it? The one with the gigantic paper fold out and all that.
It's not worth the crap anymore.
SDCC.
Mm-hmm. At first, when it first came out, it was going for like a big money. Now you can find it for under $100. It's tanked, and that's usually what happens with movie figures when they come out.
I was gonna say that's like 90% of the movie figures. They have a little hype, especially if they're hard to find. Very rarely do any of them actually stay. Well, don't get me wrong. Some of them like Devastator.
Mm-hmm. He's still surprisingly
for a good chunk.
Yeah.
But let's also remember, it was a good chunk when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And some of the Japanese versions of White go for quite a bit.
Oh yeah. I was just looking the other day. Stinger, he goes for over $50 now. Dino, the one that they repainted from Sideways, he goes for like $70, $80 now. And especially the canceled ones, the ones that were only released overseas. Those are still worth a ton. But your average Bumblebee, you can't even give them away. And Brett would know. At conventions, I'm pretty sure you can't even give away your movie toys.
I don't think.
Well, I mean, I know we talked about a great movie toy, and Don has it, and it's that KO, like basically knockoff version of Evasion Prime.
Yeah,
no,
but
let me give you
an
an
insane.
example.
That to me is actually that's what should have been on the shelves. That's what would have sold.
All right, give you an example. And this is actually a decent toy.
What's in the box?
All right.
What's in the box?
So what's this?
Oh, that's one of the premium ones, isn't it, from Japan?
Right, Buster.
I want that one really bad.
Okay, well, what do you think it goes for? Because I can tell you what it used to go for, and I can tell you what it goes for now. And this is a premium figure. It was pretty hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it goes for?
I remember when he first released the aftermarket prices on him after he sold out everywhere. During movie 3, I want to say, he reached a height of around 200. But recently there was a knockoff that came out, and I've seen the real one go for as cheap as maybe around 100. So 100, 120.
This one is going to be less than that, and it's complete with all the instructions and everything, and everyone knows where you can get it from. Speaking of which, hey Don.
Yes.
Hey Don, why don't you plug our sponsors there real quick?
Oh, our sponsor, where you can get lots of nice, pretty shiny stuff, such as like
I wanted that.
Yeah, such as we'll start with Captured Prey. Great selection of both current, vintage, and third party. CapturePrey.com. Great toys, great prices, great service. Be sure to check them out. If you're looking for something a little more eclectic, a little more vintage, or just downright weird, always check out Mega Toy Fan. Mega Toy Fan can be found at all great comic book toy conventions. Just look for Mega Toy Fan on Facebook. Maximize your collection, minimize your cost. megatoyfan.com.
So, if you're looking for the nice third-party goodness, go to Capture Prey.
And they're at TF Expo this weekend.
And they're at TF Expo.
Along
with our
if you want
leader.
weird stuff like this, weird, or
I want that.
or even rare stuff,
Oh.
Mega Toy Fan. But getting back to this, let's put it this way. This can be had for well under $100.
Well, if you're selling it for well under 100, I will
I am.
PayPal you money.
Yeah, that's beside the point, and that's fine. But what I'm trying to say is it was a decent mold, and with the chrome and everything, this popped. This thing just popped, and like you said, 200 plus, less than 100 now. They just don't hold their value. Very few of them hold their value. Which, when we're talking about that, I think we're ready to go into. Well, we need to do the Combiner Wars first.
Yeah.
All right.
Of course.
What we thought about doing? Don and I have not seen the first episode of Combiner Wars. So what we're gonna do is we have them on the computer here, and he and I are gonna watch it. It's only about 5 minutes. You guys can discuss whatever you want, do with this, that, and the other, and we're just gonna. You guys can see our reactions to it, if we like it or whatever, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. For those who have not seen it, Jason, let them know how they can watch this wonderful video.
You can watch this video on our Facebook currently right now. I did share a link earlier. It is to Vimeo. It will let you watch it. Doesn't cost anything. It's free of charge. For audio listeners, it will still be there for you folks to go back and check it out. If you have yet to see it, I'm not absolutely sure if it's playing in every country because there is a problem with that.
Well, while you're going into that and explaining all that, hey Don, let's go ahead and hit play.
All right.
You guys go ahead and watch, and I'm going to sit here and try to explain this. Go90 is basically a app that was designed for Verizon. Verizon's backed this app. They designed this app, and this app is for this Go90 thing, which is kind of like YouTube, but not really. It's not to me, it isn't a really good way in order to try to distribute a great new product for people to watch that isn't on YouTube. It makes no sense why they didn't put this on Hasbro.
It could have been on the Hasbro website or something, or Hasbro official YouTube.
And this is the thing. It's got fans that are actually doing voice acting. On top of it's actually backed by Machinima as well. And the problem with this whole distribution of this thing is not everybody can watch it. There are people in other countries that are trying to watch this thing. Take, for instance, just it's been about a week or so, but I listened to TFYLP, and I listened to Evangelist talking, hey, he's up in Canada. He can't watch it. There's people even in Canada that cannot see this thing. And although me and Sergio have seen it, and we're going to talk about our opinions here in a few minutes about this, but the problem is if you want everybody to see something, you need to distribute it so everybody can see it.
And
I personally think this is bad marketing on Hasbro's half. What do you think?
Yeah, not only will more people get to see it, but it'll also bring in more revenue. And revenue is key to keeping a show alive. The more people watch it, the more money it brings in. The more money it brings in, the more they can invest in the actual show to make it better.
Exactly. So whenever you're going to do something like this, yes, these are only 5-minute episodes. There's supposed to be enough of them to add into a 50-minute, 50-minute.
Okay. All right.
It's 50 minutes long. The entire thing.
I think Don's seen enough.
No. I'm sorry. Why is Minosaur using complete sentences and talking like a for boy?
I'm seeing some good here. All right?
Freaking nerds.
I'm seeing some actual good here. I'm actually impressed. But
Okay. I mean, visually, I like what I'm seeing.
well,
lot
wait a
of
minute
action.
now. We're only about halfway through it.
Yeah.
Let's finish watching it.
Just finish watching. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I mean, the distribution of this thing is not, to me, in my opinion, is not done the correct way. If you want folks to see this thing, first off, Hasbro, put this thing on YouTube. People want to see this thing. You need to make it available to everybody. I know it's like supposed to be based off the comic books and stuff, but guess what? Some people might not be reading the IDW comic books, so they have no way to reference this into anything saying, well, this isn't right or that isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing is, if you guys want to make more money and keep people engaged in your audience, this is how you do it. You don't do it through some throwback crazy app that barely anybody even watches, because to be honest, I've looked on Go90. I am not impressed with it at all. And the whole Go90 is take your cell phone and you turn it 90 degrees and you get to watch it widescreen. I mean, seriously, that's the biggest gimmick you can come up with.
The biggest disappointment with this is it's exactly everything we want, but they just took as many shortcuts as they could. We've been asking for a G1 style cartoon. We've been asking for a cartoon that was aimed towards the fans. You know,
Right.
But it's just not there yet. I think
the animation has been done in Japan. This is what's killing me.
The animation is actually pretty good. I've seen a lot worse. I've seen a lot better, but it's not bad. For what it is, it's pretty good.
But
I'll give them that.
what I'm saying, the whole point is what I'm saying is, if you're going to release something, you need to release it so the masses can watch it. The Transformer basis is huge. It's growing and growing and growing, even more in China. So why wouldn't you make this available for everybody? That's great if you want to make it exclusive. Maybe for like the first week. After that, you release it to everybody.
And then they didn't even tell us it was going to be 5 minutes long.
And that's the thing. They're hyping this thing as if it's a new cartoon series and it's only 5 minutes long. So that's as long as a YouTube video.
If you go to the official Transformers page, everybody in the comments section is just trashing it. Which I really hope Hasbro read that and realized that what they did was a mistake. They took shortcuts and
my thing is, I believe, Hasbro and Takara probably are both on the same boat here, considering it got animated by Japanese artists. I'm not knocking anybody here. All what I'm saying is bad distribution. If you want an engaging audience, especially one that has been, I know as much as Hasbro doesn't want to talk about it, but third parties basically throwing fuel on the fire to make Hasbro say, hey, wait, we got to do something better to get this thing going back again because we're losing revenue. You don't put something exclusive for only certain people to watch and then expect people to want to buy your product. I mean, it's like when you go into Japan, the comics are going to be like in kanji, you're going to read backwards, such. All this is going to be completely different. That's great. So the Americans want that. Well, they release pretty much the same thing in America, but it's in a different format, so you can read it. It's a comic book. That's how it should be. They should do the same thing with this series. I have no idea why they're doing this because, to be honest, it doesn't look like it's going to draw any money to me.
I think Don's formulating an opinion.
Don,
okay.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Don and I just watched the first episode. I'm curious to see. The one thing I wanted to point out very, very quickly, spoilers, if you haven't seen it, because we're going to talk about
yes, turn it off. You got like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We're skipping all the rest.
Yeah, you might want to mute because I'm going to let something out that I really, really enjoyed.
Okay.
And it's not a fart. All right. The first thing I noticed that I really liked, I love that they went back, and I don't know if they've done this because I haven't been watching a lot of the newer shows, but they went back to the original Transformation sound, which I loved.
Yep.
And I loved Computron.
I liked his voice.
Digital talking and the calculations and all that, spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to let Don talk about the other because I agree with him. But go ahead.
Okay. All right. I like the animation. Was expecting something a little more. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting something with a little more polish.
I didn't think the animation was bad.
Oh no, it's not. But again, this was made for a mobile platform. Us blowing it up to a full-size desktop screen, maybe causing some frame rate issues or things such as that. I don't know. I'm not a tech person. I'm stupid when it comes to that kind of stuff. I like the animation. That's what flashes in my head. It needed a little more polish. I really can't quantify that, but that's the feeling that I get watching it. But I liked it. Windblade, I'm not reading the comics, but she seems a little bloodthirsty.
Yes.
Which is completely out of character for her.
But exactly.
But
I do want to know one thing, real quick, just because you brought that up. Why did she step on the Autobot symbol?
Because she's not in a faction.
She is part of this new faction that apparently Victorion's part of, and they're like some kind of religious zealot going on.
Okay, see,
it's like a third.
I'm sorry, but maybe
thing.
in the next couple episodes when they link it all together, you'll figure this out. But for someone that's never seen any of that, like myself, that struck me as odd.
Yeah.
It also means you kind of want to see what's going on.
Right.
And
exactly.
I'm gonna mention what I don't like about the episode specifically, then I'm going to move on to my thoughts that I've got about it real quick. One, Minosaur. He's talking like a surfer punk in complete sentences.
Like a schoolyard bully.
Yeah, Minosaur barely strangled together, and I mean literally strangled together a fraction of a sentence. Watch Masquerade. That's probably the best example of seeing how Minosaur acts in a normal battle situation. The design was fine, and just that the voice did not fit. The voice was too high for the character, and again, complete sentences. But we talked. I've talked with this with some friends and everything. Here's the thing. This is a 50-minute long episode, okay? 50-minute thing in total. Now, there's a difference. If you write knowing you've got a 50-minute window of filming, character development and things as the character's arcs progress will show up as part of the hero's journey, kind of, from somewhere after the first to the middle to the resolution at the end. But if you write it as a 50-minute thing, but you cut it up into 10 5-minute parts, you really are not getting the character's journey until you're 6, 7, 8 parts in, because that's the way it's split up. If each part was wrote thinking in a 5-minute interval, you might be seeing more character, more information per episode, because you only have that 5-minute window in which to film or to create something. So I think in this case, if it was created as a 50-minute long thing and it's being split, it'll be hard to pass judgment until we're much further along in the series as far as the story. So Windblade is just at the beginning of her character's journey, and she's out of character. But
well, this is again, my problem with that. I liked everything, past the whole, they fall out the gate and start beating the crap out of each other. That beginning sequence feels very fatigued to me, because it looked like, bam, I hit you, for about 5 minutes, no dialogue. That's where you could have had a little bit of trash talking going on between the two. Where you had a little bit of character development in order to get attached to Computron before he gets his rear end kicked.
I like how they added in when Computron said combiners should not fight. That leads me to believe that they were... And then at the end when Menosaur says they're building a combiner army, who's they, first of all? But
Well,
also, it leads me to believe that
the
Combiner-
council.
Well,
The
Sergio,
council.
that part's fine, but what I'm talking about is that long duration thing at the very beginning. I mean, honestly, how long does that go? Probably at least a good 30 to 40 seconds into the entire cartoon.
if not the first minute.
It's literally it's too long.
Mhm.
They could have had some trash talking. I was expecting to hear somebody, screaming and then come in and like smash someone in the face or something. They're popping out of a
Well, see, the
What's the one? Wait a minute. What's the one?
They've done
Wing,
something.
is the girl's name Wingblade?
Yes, it's Wingblade
Yeah.
and
Windblade.
Wingblade.
Wind.
Windblade.
Wind.
Wind.
The one that
Wind.
The one that cut him in half.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Is she supposed to be that strong? She slices a combiner in half.
That's what caught me. It's like, is she? I'm sorry, is she wielding the lights, the Star Saber here? I mean, what the hell is she
we talking
wielding?
about Darth Vader's lightsaber here or what? I mean, this
Yeah.
thing's
And my
badass.
thing is, when she goes and cuts off one of the limbs, I mean,
Right.
why doesn't the limb transform and then start? I mean, who was that she cut off there? Was that like Dead End?
Dragstrip.
Was Dragstrip? Well, he could have fallen to the ground and turned into a robot and started firing at her or something. I
Well,
mean,
but
And
there's
when-
something they could have added to that instead of,
Wait
well,
a
he's
minute,
dead
wait a minute
now.
now. Hey, Don.
Yeah.
Overall thought of the first 5 minutes.
Okay, it's got my attention. I like the animation. The voice work is going to be a ongoing thing to see if the voice fits the character. Biggest downside was Minosaur for me because Minosaur spoke too much and the voice was not right. But that sounds me being petty. But if this is supposed to be a adult aimed series with violence and death and robots slashed in half, then I think they're trying to make it to the older fans like us. And with all credit to whoever did Minosaur's voice, I'm sorry. Your voice work was fine, but it was the wrong voice for the wrong character.
Mm-hmm.
But
They could have done exactly, G1. They modified Soundwave's voice to have a little bit of something to it.
Yeah.
They easily could have done that with him and made him sound better.
I could imagine his voice on one of the individual Stunticons, but not Minosaur himself.
So his
Dragstrip.
his voice wasn't menacing enough.
It should have been deeper and
Right.
more.
Deeper and
Right.
not full. But I think the one thing all of us fans need to keep in mind, this thing's budget is probably a lot less than we're thinking the money was put into it. And two, this is going to take some time to get invested because, again, 5-minute intervals, your basic writing, like as I mentioned earlier, your basic writing premise, we're not going to be seeing these characters growing into their next stage until we're further into the series. So we can't. Windblade is, yes, she's out of character, but that character was based on how many arcs in the comic, how much interaction, all that kind of stuff. We're seeing her at this point raw and new.
Okay.
So I think we all just need to remember it's a series. Let's watch it when it's done, or as y'all mentioned earlier, when it comes out as a full, unedited, 50-minute thing. Then judge it based on those merits as a success or failure, not
Right.
5 minutes at a time.
Okay.
Right.
But like we were saying, okay, I'm going to give my opinion the first 5 minutes. It's not G1. Okay? It's got remnants of G1, but it's not G1. And I'm okay with that. This is different. This is not G1. So the voices don't bother me as much as it does you. I love the animation. I love the grit. I loved Computron to death. I thought he was amazing. I loved it. If they're trying to go for what G.I. Joe did with G.I. Joe Resolute, they're not hitting it. All right. If anyone ever saw that, when they did a first teaser of it, it was very adult-oriented, graphic, and just so outside the comics and the show that it was awesome. This is more a little bit like that, but not a lot.
Resolute killed Bazooka, right?
Right. The Resolute is when they did the very first. They did a little clip of it, and basically what it was is all you saw was Snake Eyes running through the woods. And you just heard him,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden
Okay,
he just
yeah.
starts slicing everyone up, and you're like,
Yeah.
whoa. I mean, blood, everything. They showed it, and
Yeah.
it was good. If this is trying to get like that, you ain't there. But in its own right, I like it. I enjoyed the 5 minutes, and I'm looking forward to it. I am that person that's like, okay, now this character that I've never heard of, I want to know why she is so strong. I want to know why she does this thing. Why did she hit, Computron 2? All these things. And even though you told me, I'm hoping this is stuff that I would realize after watching the next few episodes.
But this is my thing. What about the connection to her partner that dies?
Right.
There's like very little connection. I mean, I think to me, some of this feels a bit. I know you got 5 minutes to tell this thing, but rushed. You have no connection to this.
This might be another instance when you're putting too much into a package.
This is what I'm looking at, Brett. You sit down. You got like a 5, 6-year-old son, something like that, sits down and watch it with you, right? If they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
That kid's not going to know who Minosaur is, not know who Computron is, anything like that on an average. Most of them aren't even going to know who these are. There's no connection.
I don't think that's what this series is about.
It's not connected. I know it's not connected like that.
Wait a minute. I don't think this is about people that have never known it. This is about people that know the series, that followed it, and is looking for the next. This is just something different.
Right, and I see that. But this is the thing. There's certain things that, I'll be honest with you, like I said, when I watched that first part where they're fighting, I wanted some trash talking going on there. There's something that was missing during that until they hit the ground and then talk.
I enjoyed the fight in space.
Oh yeah, I like the fight. The fight is great. I'm talking about the animation, the sound effects, everything is awesome.
Yeah,
the only thing is it was just lacking just a little bit at that very beginning. I think it could have added just a little bit more to the whole thing, a little more weight if they did that. Just a tad, not even a whole lot. If there's just a little bit of trash talking, I mean, how many times have we watched G1 Transformers and, you had Gestalts trash talking to each other as they're beating the crap out of each other?
Well, here's my point. G.I. Joe Resolute, okay? Mm-hmm. If anyone has ever watched the original cartoon, they know they're just like stormtroopers. Vipers can't hit anything with their lasers because you can't use bullets. And everyone uses their kung fu grip to knock people out. No one dies, no one gets hurt. And yet, Resolute, the very first thing you see is limbs being sliced off, blood everywhere, and he's just going to town. And you're like, that's what I want. Because as a fan growing up, mature, right. and that's what I missed about the comics. The comics got into some gritty stuff too. But this threw it out there in animation form, and it was just solid gold. I don't think this is going to get that hype.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it progressed.
I mean, to be honest, if they decided to, because, I mean, some of us out there that's actually read all the G2 comics, there's a lot of destruction, arms getting ripped off, this, that, and the other in those comics. It's very violent.
Even
and
in
that, I could see if they took a little bit of that and put this into this, it would actually make it even better.
Even in the newer comics with the Wreckers, Last End of the Wreckers, those are very violent. It would have been cool if you saw a better trash talking than Minosaur calling Computron a nerd. I would have. I'm not talking about full, explicit.
I kind of enjoyed that, but that's okay.
I actually thought I chuckled when I heard that. But I'm just thinking there should have been a little bit more trash talking between the two.
And also the way that Windblade took out Minosaur, it would have been cooler and more. It would have sent a bigger message if maybe she cut his head off or something, or did something more than just whoosh. That's it.
I don't know. Then a talking head and everything.
I mean, she did just slice Motor Master in half. I mean, what happens to the other limbs?
Yeah.
That's the question. I mean, it's like, when the other limbs got blown off into space from Computron, these are Technobots. Don't they fly in space sometimes? Well, so you tell me they're not going to come back in?
The point being is I think we're all intrigued with the first episode. And if it has not done anything, it has at least piqued our interest to where we're going to watch again.
And the animation is beautiful. I do want to say that the animation is actually pretty
I thought it was good. But you also got to remember, I haven't watched episodes since the Unicron trilogy, so I haven't seen anything really.
Yeah, and one thing you said, Brett, it wasn't all the voices. It was just Minosaurs not matching up to the character.
Right.
But I had no problem. But you're talking about the trash talking. Computron's like me. He doesn't do trash talking all that well.
Right, he did.
But you would at least think
perfect.
Minosaur, with all the trash talking he did at the end, that he would have been saying something to him in space. Beating the crap out of him.
But I think we're all, like you said, we all want to see what's next.
Yep.
Be interesting to see. I'm going to see Computron again, and I got a feeling with his toy coming out soon, he'll be showing up at some point to say, "Hey, I'm still alive. Buy my toy."
Exactly. I like Optimus Prime just all of a sudden, being at the very end of the whole entire episode.
Yeah, I thought that was neat because you got to see a glimpse, and who better to see in that nice animation than Optimus Prime? I was happy to see that. The only thing would have been better if I would have got to see Megatron, but next episode.
Yeah.
All right, so we were talking before about certain characters, losing value, gaining value, this, that, and the other, and it got us to talking before the show about what happens, and we dove into this a couple of times. What happens when a new character or a new figure comes out of your existing character that you love? And one of the things that we pointed out before was like Bruticus or Devastator. And then, I want the next new thing. What do you do with the old one? And what do you guys think? I mean, you've obviously got either. I'll give you a perfect example. We now got a very, very nice new rendition of a Masterpiece Megatron, to where we used to have Apollyon. And what do you do? Do you keep one? Do you keep both? Do you keep one for classics? And what about classics? What do you guys think?
When it comes to third party, it's all about the new shiny thing. This happens with every single release. I'm seeing it now. I've seen Apollyon go as low as $45. The other day I saw somebody sell theirs for $45. And every time there's a new something, even with the combiners, the old combiner, the price just drops dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Hercules. Isn't Hercules normally going for around $200 now? And that was like a $600.
I bought mine for $120.
You can get it for about $120, yeah.
And we're talking about a top of the line third party that was what? What was that thing like? Around $500 when it first came out.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, I hate to break in on a tangent, but we have just got our reveal from Facebook on eHobbies. Titans Return Optimus Primal.
Yeah, I saw these.
Oh, you didn't see it?
Oh, you did?
Go ahead, Don. Grab those and pull those up.
Well, there's the first link I've seen. I just literally just now saw that when I was closing a window in the other
These were actually
browser.
floating on the internet about I would say around 9 a.m. this morning where I live.
Okay.
I saw them.
All right,
they
cool.
have been up.
Okay, so we got Titan Returns, Optimus Primal. Looks like the Bat, Optimus Primal Bat.
Yes, mine white body and Sentinel Prime head.
Yeah, for our audio listeners, it looks like he's got his little wings. And it basically, if you can envision what the first generation Beast Wars Optimus, it was actually Optimus Prime, it wasn't Primal, Bat, the same colors.
And apparently the Titan Master that comes with it, I don't remember which one that is. I'm very tired tonight. Ape Face has been repainted as Optimal Optimus.
Look at that. Wow. And is the little headmaster right there, is that supposed to be
That's Megatron.
IQ? Or no, is that a little Optimus Primal? Or Optimus Prime?
Yeah, no,
or is that IQ? Right next to the Optimal Optimus.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know who the headmaster is supposed to be.
Right here.
Yeah, the green one. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the
that's
green
the one. Yeah, that's the one that came with. I'm guessing. I don't know. It's
That one came with Galvatron.
what, Nucleon?
Yeah, the green one. That's the Galvatron.
Yeah.
So this is a repaint of Mind Wipe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a repaint of Mind Wipe, and the little
Sentinel Prime.
the little guy is the repaint of Ape Face. Is what that
Gotcha.
is.
Okay. So for our audience
Um,
listeners, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at Mind Wipe, but more in a gray and blue, just like the original.
If
And the you said that the Optimus was a repaint of what? Ape Face?
Yes, Ape Face is the small
in
one.
the
That's
Optimus
the
colors.
right,
And the-
and the
and the-
Ape Face is this small 2-pack that's supposed to come out. That's got like the little ape. That's got the little headmaster that plugs into it and actually turns into an ape. It's a small one. It's not a large or deluxe. It's the smaller
I am kind of
2-pack.
interested in why it comes with two different heads, though. That's interesting.
because the green one is Megatron, and I'm pretty sure that they color matched it to just the Skull Cruncher body.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm hoping that's what we see next.
Do you
I'm
think that
pretty
this
sure.
does this come with this figure, or is that going to go with
Yes.
Skull Crunch?
It comes
So,
with the figure.
so they're making it so that you have to buy them all to complete the other figures.
No, I would assume what they're probably going to do is do
Or
a
is it a
2-pack. I would see them doing a 2-pack with the Ape Face.
How much you want to
because
bet?
that-
No, wait a minute,
We
wait a minute.
don't know
How
what
much you want to bet they do a
Megatron's
Skull
gonna have.
Cruncher in green as Megatron, and
Right.
that's your 2-pack.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm
Skull
saying.
Cruncher
They're going to probably do
But
the
it'll be
Skull
Megatron.
Cruncher repaint and the Prime in the Optimus,
Yeah,
As
but
a
it'll be
2-pack.
a darker green.
but it's going to be a lot like the Takara ones, where it comes with the little vehicle. Because you know how Hardhead comes with the little vehicle
Right,
that turns
right.
into a gun? I would assume they're going to probably do the same thing here, but they're probably going to give us maybe another little smaller Headmaster guy, just like
Well,
the
let me
Optimal
ask-
Optimus,
Let me ask
to
you this:
come with that Prime.
is anyone else kind of miffed that they're calling this bat Optimus Primal?
Um,
I
It's
don't
Optimus
care.
Prime.
Well, this is my thing. Following what they're doing there with that ape face, the overkill looks a lot like a dinosaur. Do you guys think that's probably what they're going to do with that? That's going to come out with the Skull Cruncher.
If
That's Megatron.
we have no confirmation whether or not. For all we know, they could just say buy another Skull Cruncher.
Sure.
Yeah, we don't know yet. But
I don't think so. I'd be willing to bet they make you buy a 2-pack. I think that's perfect because that's also a throwback to how you originally got these guys.
Right. And what
But
I'm thinking is,
But
if
I'm
it
sorry,
does that,
it's Optimus Prime, not Primal. Sorry.
well, my thing is, it comes with the little bitty, Optimal Optimus.
That's awesome.
I'm wondering
like
if
a
they're going
bonus.
to take that overkill that has been repainted and turn that
T-Rex?
into a little bitty T-Rex.
A little T-Rex.
Or maybe a Dinobot.
Yeah. it
Well,
could-
There's a big possibility. We
Clobber.
have two there they could do
Yeah.
with that clobber mode.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Don.
So I'm sorry about jumping in. I had just now saw that, so I wanted to.
No, I hadn't seen it, but I love it, and I love these little throwbacks, especially the Optimal Optimus down there. That's taken a a nod to the Beast Wars G1 era, and just adding to it and knocking it out of the park. I love it. And if they did do this as a 2-pack, I love it. I think it's perfect. The
I'm
only thing that would
kinda
be better
hoping-
is if they blister packed it just like the original.
That, or they maybe put it in a box similar to that, so that way it's got a clamshell design so people can put it back in there, because obviously going to play with them. Some
Oh,
kind
I-
of big window thing.
I just think it'd be
has the
neat
same
if they-
kind of
if they
border
blister
and everything, just like
big.
that.
This mold's pretty big though, isn't it? It's the deluxe size.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, the deluxe sizes really aren't that huge. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
but they're a
you've
lot
seen
bigger
any of
than
them.
the Beast Wars flip changers. They're a lot bigger than that.
Well, yeah, they're bigger than that. What I'm saying
Okay.
is, have you seen any of the Titan Masters on shelves yet?
Yes, I saw.
I've seen them, and honestly, I hate to
I
say
saw
it,
brain.
they
Hard
are
head.
about as tall as G1 Prime. They are not big.
Yeah.
So I could see them easily turning that into a 2-pack, along with a little guy like that turns into a weapon and turns into an alt mode for each one.
Well, let's just hope they don't make it a Toys R Us or Walmart exclusive.
Well, it's a hobby.
Well, it's a
so
hobby,
it'll be.
so it's probably.
Oh, it is a hobby. Oh, I missed the boat
It's
on
going
that.
to be.
That's
It'll
maybe
be an
worse.
exclusive thing
That's
that you
even worse.
from
It'd be
everybody.
like $100.
Yeah, and then you got to be, first in line to grab it and shit.
It's going to be a very difficult item to get. Yeah.
Well, kudos to them for doing the extra nod to it, and I don't collect Combiner Wars, but I might actually pick this one up. Just because it has so much goodness.
With that being an e-hobby exclusive, do you guys think maybe they might milk that Skull Cruncher for one more go around and turn it into that Optimus Prime that we've seen in G1?
That would be whatever.
Considering there's been a third party that's nodded to it.
Whatever convention replaces BotCon, they'll probably be using Titan's Return molds by that point, unless they have access to current molds at whatever point in time that is. Let's say we'll have something in 2017 as a start to replace BotCon. If they're using molds from the previous year, that could be something that they use for an easy exclusive for this new convention.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Brett, back on to the other subject we had.
Oh, no, I like that little insert. That's good. I like that.
That was great, too.
Okay, so, like I said, we were talking about how, the next new thing comes along, and then the price drops, and then people lose interest. And we had this discussion once before, and I'm still going to stick by my guns. And I'm going to say that I still firmly believe that a person's interest in what they collect is directly related to what it's worth. And I know I catch a lot of grief for this because, I collect what I want, whatever. You still have that, well, this is worth X amount of dollars, and now it's worth more, kind of makes you a little prouder. And whether people want to admit it or not, you do. So when you see your $500 investment selling for $100, it sucks. It just sucks. What do? Do you suck it up and sell it, collect your $100 and get the next new thing? Do you stick with it? How many people stick with their classics and don't move on to the new stuff? All right, Sergio?
I heavily collect Masterpiece. I love the Masterpiece line. I'd say 90% of it. I'm just missing a couple of the repaints. But I also have quite a large collection of classics. And that's my philosophy is I love Transformers. If they're fun, if I like them, if they look good, I'll buy it. I have a couple Beast Wars, some of the older lines and stuff, but classics and Masterpiece are mainly what I find myself buying. Masterpiece is the nice, expensive thing that I get every now and then, but classics is something that I can pick off the shelf and mess with. It's a nice little $10, $20 figure.
I always found that when the classics came out, and they kind of came out about the same time as Masterpiece, you had two schools of collecting. You had those that could afford the Masterpiece, so they went that route. I'm sorry, you had three schools of collecting. They could afford the Masterpiece, so they went that route. They couldn't afford that, so they went with the classics. And then you had the other, the Pokemon addict that I had to catch them all like Don. So
I've gotten better through the years. I've gotten better.
Back in 07, 08, what do you think? I think you were heavily into the Pokemon fiasco.
Yeah, that's how I kind of am now, and my friends tease me for that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
And we've said this before. Let me preface this whole conversation by saying, regardless of what anyone on this podcast says, as long as you are happy with your own collection, who cares? You're fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. If all you collect is Kiss players, there's some great molds in Kiss players. The fiction, little
You
iffy
might have
on the.
you might have a few of underlying issues that we don't want to talk about, but that's okay.
But
Whatever floats your boat.
there was some good molds from Kiss players. So
Yeah, but there
doesn't
was some really weird artwork with it too. So, I mean, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
leave it at that.
Again, okay. To quote Facts of Life, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both. So there we go from that. So
Shut up,
anyway,
Well, I mean, it's much
I am-
like, you know,
I
like
am Joe. If I'm anybody, I'm Joe.
I'd put you as Joe, or what's his? What was Blair? No. What was the woman?
Natalie.
The older woman.
Natalie. Oh, Mrs. Garrett.
Mrs. Garrison. You're Mrs. Garrison.
Mrs. Garrett. Oh, gee.
Oh, Mrs. Garrett. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's you.
Oh, jeez.
Uh-oh. I think I got him on that one.
Anyway. But I guess as far as myself, I have been selling off a lot of my classics, most of the carded stuff, because I'm keeping the loose stuff for me, because there for a while, I was buying
I don't get much
duplicates.
sleep.
Yeah, no. There for a while, I was buying duplicates of all the classics and generation stuff up until probably right around reveal of the Shield, and it was just too much to keep up with, because I wanted one loose to open, and I love the card. I love the card artwork. I love the design of the boxes. I love the back of the boxes. Because I wanted a complete, collection.
Don, you just love too much.
Yeah. So, but now that I am getting some of the masterpiece figures, which are, again, in most cases, the definitive look for this character.
Just say better. They're better. The better look.
Yeah. So but now there are some I'm keeping. I'm still keeping my classic smokescreen, because I like smokescreen and I like that design. Doors be damned. I'm keeping some other figures too. It's just, but I am at a point where it's like, okay, I've got these masterpiece versions. Some of these characters I don't care, like Ironhide and Ratchet. In case you aren't familiar, classics Ironhide and Ratchet aren't that good. Even not compared to anything else, they're just not that good.
I liked it. I liked the transformation. I really
Well,
did.
the transformation was fine. It's just the vehicle mode looked like it was falling apart because of the panel lines.
Yeah, but the robot mode I thought was really good. I really liked it. I especially loved the fact that when you transformed it, you had this big window in front that the piece shoved up and covered up the window, so there was more to it.
Yeah.
I'll
be honest.
I liked it.
My BotCon 2005 Ratchet and Ironhide from the Towline mold, I think, are better figures than the classics ones.
Oh, the Towline mode was a good one. That was a no-brainer. That was a no-brainer to recolor. But
I agree. I agree with Don on that. I mean, honestly, that was a more solid mold. I don't know why they couldn't have somehow made that more of the classics line for that one.
Well, and
I didn't like that
apologize,
SUV because it looked like somebody took a sword
This
to
is
it.
the only mold I have.
Well, the Towline mold is very, very energizing. There's just not much you can do with that.
I love this. I love the design.
As he's sitting there playing with a prototype. That's what our audio listeners are not hearing here. He is playing with a prototype of this thing.
Oh, the plug popped off again. No, what I was saying is that this is the only one I have of that mold, because I sold all the others. But I love the design. I think it looks good.
I love the wacky colors.
And I love the wacky colors in this one. But the other thing I
the
love,
prototype colors are awesome.
yeah, but I love this too. I love the little gun that goes underneath, and when you plugged it into his hand, it became a blade. Or you plugged it in his hand, and it became a cannon.
I mean, it had nice aspects. It's just, I mean, it had nice aspects, but I'll be the first to be honest here. I was not planning on getting Masterpiece Ratchet and Ironhide, because I had the iGear versions that I really liked, and they fit well with my Masterpiece characters. But once I saw and got past the horrible photography that was done for those two characters, really, Takara, you need to look into some other people doing your photography, especially at certain websites. But
Duran takes good photography, doesn't he? Takes
yeah,
good.
yeah, Duran does, and then we've got two guys at RFC, that does the reviews for T-Formers as well. But I wasn't planning on it. But then once the videos began showing off, the in-hand pictures began, it's like they look a lot better than I thought they would.
Yeah.
Going off of what Don said, I'm holding up the MP11 Skywarp, the really, really overpriced exclusive, and then I also have the classic Skywarp, and two completely different figures, meant for two completely different collectors, I'd say. But for some reason,
one obsessive collector.
But what I'm trying to get at is, I still enjoy both of these. This is infinitely better than the classics one, but for some reason, I got recently, and to most collectors, they'd say, "Well, why'd you buy that one if you already have the better one?" And that's just because I think, for what they are, each one is unique. This is meant for a nice display piece, something nice for the serious collector, as for something that I can take off the shelf whenever I'm bored and mess with. And that's what I like about the classics line. I am.
Sometimes you just want to grab a transformer and. Yeah, sometimes you just want to grab a transformer and play with it and not worry about getting the instruction manuals or finding a video online because you forgot how to transform.
Or spending 20 minutes. Yes, exactly.
And it's not even so much about the transformation itself. It's just I don't want to end up breaking a $200 figure because I don't have the kind of income where, I just broke a $200 figure, I'll just buy another one. This took me a couple weeks to save up and buy.
Look, not everyone can have the income Don has, all right?
Yeah, everyone thinks I have this income. I have all that I have because I have no wife, no girlfriend, and no life.
So Massey eats just fine.
What he's not telling you is
he's not going hungry.
And he got it back when it was cheap. That's what he's not telling you guys.
Well, no, I'm just saying okay, all right. I have a pretty extensive collection, and I do have a lot of the rare figures. But again, I turned 46 this year. I was there when this crap started in '84. I got most of my Japanese and most of my European stuff I got when it was still on the shelves in Japan and in Europe, and it was everywhere, and it was dirt cheap. So, I mean, that's why I have most of what I have is because I got it when I got Overlord and Lao Kaiser shipped from Japan, gift set Lao Kaiser, boxed Overlord, 150 shipped. But this was 1996. This stuff was still everywhere over there.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's all context.
Yeah, and even with the new
back before that internet thing.
Back in my day.
Yeah. Okay. I won't tell the story. Okay. I know.
He has a pen.
I was trading Walmart. Yeah. No, I actually met this gentleman. I believe it was he was selling toys through Lee's Action Figure and Toy Review in the Classifieds.
Yes.
And I was after taking y'all back. And I wrote him a letter, and
believe it or not,
I was trading.
You used to have to write
a letter,
mail letters.
Yeah,
not
guys.
Email. It was mail.
For our visual learners, it's called paper and a pen. That's the way it is. Paper and pen, guys.
In Don's time, they had the feather on the pen.
No, it wasn't.
With the ink.
It was
But anyway. So I was trading this. I had Kmart Legends Bumblebee. My local Kmart had about 8 or 9 Kmart Legends Bumblebees for like $3 a piece. I bought them all and was trading one Bumblebee for a VHS copy of Master Force and Victory. And he would send me the catalog with the video from Japan. I would circle the ones I would want, mail him back for a price. He would give me an estimate on shipping and everything. I would mail him back a money order, and then he would send me the stuff. So that's the way it worked back then. And I'm putting something in the chat. If y'all, I'm not sure if y'all can screen share it or not. That is a picture, a partial picture, if that works, of what my classics wall used to look like. That's my photo bucket.
It aired out.
Hang
I
on.
really want to see
does
it.
not
Too.
exist.
What kind of
Hang on,
stuff are you trying to pull?
Hang on, let me.
He's like, wait, that's my porn.
Wait a minute. Let me show you my picture of Bigfoot. Oh, dang it!
Hang on, let me try again here. So let's see. Let me try the HTML link, see if that works. But anyway, but yeah, I have replaced some stuff, but it's like as of right now, that's probably not gonna work either.
That's shut out too.
Yep, it works now.
It does. Okay.
Yep.
So.
Wow.
Which one? This one?
Now we're like browsing through his room.
Right?
guys. Here's an insight into Don's life.
Does the screen share work?
Yeah, let me get it on here. There we go.
Okay.
Let me get rid of the.
So anyway, basically, without me hogging up a lot more airtime, yeah, I've replaced some stuff with some stuff I'm keeping. Depends on the character, depends on the toy. Like for example, Kronos. I have Kronos. I've stated before, I think he looks great in robot mode. Will I be getting the new one coming out from Fans Toys? I don't know. But possibly. Yeah, I don't really know at this point.
If I can get rid of these damn ads. There we go.
Yeah, but that was a part of my classics collection at the time.
All right, now, Don, I haven't looked through these, and we're live, so there's not going to be something that's going to scare me, is there?
There's nothing.
For our younger viewers.
Well, no, don't. I'd rather you not show everything on the air. There's nothing bad. It's just, it's
personal.
It's 15 of 11, and I don't want to keep too much room. Yeah, but what you don't see is above that door. That's the bathroom door. I have them all along the edge, around all the way there, and across the top of those bookcases. So, yeah, those are all my carded. Those are my carded figures.
All right.
So again, a lot of those have sold.
I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to look through some of these pictures. And oh my God! Oh.
If only you guys could see the horrors.
I cannot unsee when I've seen. Oh, horror. Okay, I'm done.
But anyway, that's me. I have replaced some stuff. Some stuff I'm keeping. It just depends on the character, the toy.
I will say one thing, Don. You're really limber in that one picture. I'm impressed.
That's what she said.
In the fourth picture. In the fourth one. Look at him. For the win! I did it! Yes! Yes!
Oh, jeez.
You audio listeners really need to tune into some of these episodes and see them live.
Oh.
But not this one.
Right now, just imagine a really red-faced and embarrassed Don.
Poor Don.
I'm red-faced because I have the window up for Massey to lay in and the air's turned off.
Oh.
So it's a little warm in here.
Oh, that cat can deserve to sweat a little bit. Knock a little pounds off.
Yeah, and then he pees on something because he doesn't have his window up.
No, well, don't do that. It stinks.
No.
All right. So, back on topic. Where were we? Okay, so I think we're about ready to wrap up, but I was going to ask Jason, what are your thoughts on that? As far as how your collection goes. I know you've had some
I've had
setbacks, this, that, and the other, but as far as collecting in general.
As far as collecting in general, I have been, and if anybody's been following me for a long time, they know that I have sold off collection after collection after collection. And the thing is, I have gone down to the point that, yes, I now only collect G2 because I like Generation 2. But it was getting to the point that I was like, okay, do I really have a big connection to some of these figures I had from G2? And honestly, a lot of the classics ones, they're cool, but I have a G1, the actual G2 versions. And then I also have some customs of the Combiner Wars that I've been doing, and I actually like the aesthetic better. So I've been doing a lot of that. Okay, get rid of this figure, get rid of this, get rid of this. And honestly, to me, collect what you guys like to collect. I mean, myself, I keep every wheeljack I get. I like wheeljack, so I have like every version. I even have alternators one, which I don't like. So for these people out there that probably are like gonna hate on me for saying this, but I dislike Mustangs. I hate Mustangs, but I'm keeping it because it's freaking wheeljack. That's the only reason why I'm keeping it. I hate the color scheme, but I'm
I
keeping
thought he was
it.
going to mention the horrible transformation, but that would
The transformation sucks balls. I'm sorry. I transported it once. It stays in robot mode. I am not putting it out of robot mode. It's going to stay in freaking robot mode and stand on the shelf. And what's funny is it's so much bigger than the freaking Masterpiece. But to me, the Masterpiece is awesome. I love that. But I also like to play with the Combiner Wars wheeljack too because it's fun. So
Just don't drop it in the snow. You'll never find it.
well, that's what's funny. I have two of the Combiner Wars wheeljack, and one of them I repro labeled, and one I did not. So I still have one that's authentic and one that's kind of upgraded. And one of the guys that I did reviews for a little while back for a upgrade set for Blast Off kindly sent me a wheeljack upgrade kit for that one, where he's actually got wings and he's got some guns and much better stuff with him that kind of makes him a little better. So I put all those on the repro labeled one because it actually looks cool. But my point is, if you guys want to collect Masterpiece only, collect Masterpiece only. If you want to collect just third party, do that. But don't dog somebody else because they want to collect Beast Wars or they want, RID or whatever it is. Just have fun collecting.
But open season on Beast Machines is, and honestly, I am.
But, I mean, like, value-wise, honestly, to me, I hate to say this, and Brett will probably agree with me on this. A toy's only worth how much money somebody's going to throw at it.
Yep.
Brave Maximus sitting back here, right? He normally goes for around $300-$400 with the box and all of that stuff. But to be honest, to some people, that might even be worth 10 cents. That's the way it is. Some people don't realize that, it must be worth a lot of money. Sometimes they're not to some people.
Not worth as much as that Georgia sign behind you.
hey, you're just hating because I have a light bright. Me and my light bright.
That's a common misconception, too, from
I can't do
my
two.
friends.
It is an original light bright. It is one of the first release light brights.
Yeah, and I have to wonder, with the light brights being made nowadays, if you're using an incandescent bulb, is it even worth having? Because it'd be so dim.
No, it's actually pretty bright. It's on right now. They have an LED version, but I hate to say it. I like the vintage. That's why I kept it.
But you can't do twos.
If he could live under a rock, he would.
Yeah, just don't price incandescent light bulbs anytime soon if you got to buy a pack.
All right. Well, I think we've ran our course on this one. Anyone else have anything to say about collecting habits, this, that, and the other? About Combiner Wars? About the wonderful movie pictures that we saw? Anything in closing?
Well, not really a collecting thing, but more of a general heads up. My local Target and Toys R Us are undergoing resets. Target is finishing up, and my Toys R Us is doing it in the next 2 weeks. So if you're having trouble looking for Titans Returns figures, if you have a Toys R Us or Target in your area, check them out, because if they're on the same reset schedule, then the new product should be coming out soon. So I just wanted to give you all a heads up, because I did see the small Titans Returns at my Target, and Toys R Us has an end cap that has the deluxes. And they got Wave 2 of the Titan Masters, plus they have a Sentinel Prime and a Galvatron. So just as a heads up to let everybody know.
Mm-hmm. And some stores, unfortunately, I know a couple Targets in my area actually downsize their Transformers section. So hopefully your store gets lucky.
Right.
Well, it looks like they've only got one spot for leader class, so it looks like that Optimus Prime and Blaster will be sharing the same spot as the Seeker jets from Combiner Wars. So you might, if you don't see them after a certain point, you might have to scan and see if there's any more in stock, and see if they can pull it from the back to see if it's Optimus and Blaster versus Starscream and the jets.
Yeah, because the UPC will still come up as Transformers Generations.
I was just
Yeah.
at my local Walmart today, and they were doing reshuffling of their toy section, and I got to go look and see where they're moving stuff. But to be honest, it's about the same layout. My Walmart's still flooded with tons of Bruticus limbs.
Which is weird because
and then there's 2 Skywarps sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
what's weird is the Bruticus limbs around here completely between here and the upper part of North Carolina, because I'm on this side of the Virginia line. But pretty much all the Bruticus limbs vanished until that remix wave came out. They hit, they vanished, and then I did not see them for like a month and a half, 2 months in nowhere until that remix wave came out.
Yeah, my area was like that with the Protectobots. They hit and then disappeared.
Yeah, that's normally how it goes here. Like, they get them in, once they're gone, and they don't get anything else in. And like I said, Skywarp, I don't know how hard it is to find it, but I got 2 of them sitting at this Walmart here.
Yeah. So, and that's also something good we could bring up. During this time of transition between Combiner Wars to Titan Wars, distribution is going to be absolutely ugly. So everybody help your fellow fans out. Keep your eyes open. Keep posting on your favorite boards about what you see. Let's all try to help each other out finding this stuff, so none of us have to go pay scalper prices, from certain people. So,
Right,
yeah, and it's with every initial wave. I remember when Combiner Wars first started hitting, you couldn't find them anywhere. The first initial waves. It wasn't until second, third wave where I started seeing them more.
Well, let me ask you this: are there any of the Combiner Wars that you just can't find, that initially you couldn't find and you just never have? Or did they were initially hard and you found them later? Is there anyone that's an exception?
With me, it was Defensor. I did find one hot spot that I got. I didn't see any of the limbs for like the longest time. Then they showed up during a time when my cash was pinched, and then they were gone, and we didn't see any more. Distribution down here is just not cool. And it's like I said, I mean, we're stuck with a bunch of Onslaught. Not Onslaught, but just every limb you can think of for Bruticus. So if any of you guys out there need any of that, hit me up on my Facebook, and we'll talk and see what I can do to help you.
Yeah.
Good enough. All right, guys.
It's just, I think, right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just
All right.
help each other out if you can.
Yeah. All right, well, I think what we're going to do is...
Especially-
I'm sorry. I just figured we'd wrap this up.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is I want to have Don and Sergio mute your mics.
Okay.
Okay, this worries me. Okay, where's my mute function at?
Top.
There it is. Settings. That's not it.
All right. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to sign off. Just real quick to let everyone know, appreciate y'all for joining us with Don, Sergio, Jason, and myself. We're going to leave you with Jason and I viewing Don's photo bucket, and we'll just leave you with that. So enjoy.
Oh my God! What the hell is?
How did you?
Why?
Oh, that's just.